Welcome to US Rugby Happy Hour Live. Interviews with the biggest names in American rugby.
Consecutive MLR Championship. And Team USA make history in Paris.
USA Rugby is heading to Australia.
Here are your hosts, Bill Baker and that other guy.
Hello and welcome to US Rugby Happy Hour. I'm Bill Baker. That's the other. I keep on doing that wrong. That's the other guy. John Fitzpatrick, how are you, man? Good to see you. It's been a while.
It's been a while. And Bill, I noticed something new on the show. New open.
You haven't taped? Oh, yes. Yes, the open is new. It's been updated. I think the last open was like 2 years old. It still worked a little bit because Free Jacks kept winning the MLR Shield. And I think there was a score by Detivo when she was playing overseas, and she hasn't played in a few years.
So it's refreshed, it's updated.
Do an update. Yes,
yep.
Yes.
Like the Olympics right there. That was awesome.
Yes, absolutely. So it's been a bit. I'm really excited about this year, Fitzy. This is the kickoff episode for season 6 of US Rugby Happy Hour. And we've changed up a little bit over the years. We're just trying to make it better, more entertaining for people. You and I have both gone to improv classes to try to make this work better. But I am pumped. How are you feeling about the season 6 of US Rugby Happy Hour? You got to be excited.
I'm fired up, but I'm dumbfounded because we've been doing this for 6 years.
Has it been that long? There might have been a time where like 2 seasons kind of reached over a year.
Okay. Yeah, dang, 6 years. I know I lost some years during the COVID stuff, but like, wow.
Yeah, definitely. But also something to really look forward to, Fitzy, is this is a really exciting, great rugby year ahead of us. I mean, other than the interviews we're going to we have lined up, we already have a few lined up for the next couple of weeks, including some of the head coaches at the national sides. You can just figure out what their names are. But as far as like rugby events going on this year, other than the South Africa-New Zealand match, which was just announced in Baltimore. Is that Baltimore? Am I correct?
That's correct. Yep.
There were so many others. There's still rumors of a USA, another match in DC. Maybe I caught wind of at one point. Don't know how true that is, but USA Women announced they're doing a tour South Africa. USA Men's have the Nations Cup. They have other matches as well that we're still waiting to hear more about. I'm pumped about that. U20 Junior Championships are back this summer. Oh, geez. Singapore Sevens is this weekend, right? I think it's this weekend. And then speaking of that, HSBC Sevens is coming to New York, practically my backyard, and especially our guest's backyard here. So if she's not there, we might have to have a word. But not to mention WER is building up. I know a lot of players have submitted their resumes and videos to be involved in WER, including these events of this past weekend down in Atlanta. I'm sure the coaches, everyone were down there to look at players. I'm out of air already. Major League Rugby kicks off. Yes, MLR kicks off in a couple months. And then Anthem, speaking of MLR, announced Mountain Dew as a major sponsor, and also Southeastern Dental Healthcare will be on site every match to make sure everyone's okay.
What are you suggesting about Mountain Dew?
Have you seen what Mountain Dew does to people's teeth? No? Okay, well, just watch Talladega Nights.
I was raised on cherry Coke. That was, so is cherry Coke, is that bad for your teeth?
All of it is. Diet Dr. Pepper was probably my only diet soda. Anyway, we're way off track.
Yes, let's go. What are we doing?
I know. All right, let's kick into it. Our guest is waiting in the green room. She's just probably inhaling all the Skittles we have for her on the tabletop bar. Hopefully she didn't dig into the bar. We had an interview to do, and she's pretty busy. But in the meantime, listeners, viewers, whoever, please like, follow, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. The podcast replays, which come out the day after every one of these shows. Like, follow, subscribe. Like I said, share this with your friends. Let's get more and more people listening to this. And also, give us your feedback. Let us know how bad the Fitzy does. All right? Give us all the feedback you can. Leave me out of it, unless it's good. All right, that's enough of that. All right, introduce our guest today is our usual jingle. But however, I'm not going to bring her up right away when we hear her name, because this is where the song gets good. And then we'll bring her on, and we're going to dance. We're going to do like sprockets, like SNL kind of.
Okay.
So I want to see your best butt dancing. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Today's guest, she defines the motto: have ball, will travel. referee, commentator, coach, barbarian, co-founder XV Foundation, and now in the next chapter of her rugby career, Eagle No.237, National Collegiate Rugby's Women's Director, Alycia Washington!
You never knew this. Actually, this is actually a live house party.
Who knew?
Who knew? Alycia Washington, how are you?
With an intro like that, how could I be anything but amazing? Like, that was incredible.
That's it. Good night, everybody. We'll talk to you another time.
That's all I needed. Thanks so much. Ego boost in retirement. Appreciate it. Catch you later.
Well, you know what? I'm confused by this whole retirement thing. Are you really retired from the field? Because there was a time you're leaving PWR, or I'm retiring, and all of a sudden, hey, look, no, I'm in Bordeaux.
Yeah, I feel like I needed one more season for me. Like, not up for US selection. Like, I needed a season of just like fun and lifestyle, and like there's nowhere better than the south of France to get the best of rugby and the best of lifestyle. So shout out to my teammates from Stade Bordelais, because that was an incredible year for sure.
And then a couple of your former teammates are in Stade Bordelais right now as well, with Hallie and I believe Nia is still there. I know she didn't play last weekend, but I mean,
I think Nia. Both there, both signed for this season. I've only heard great things from the girls about how like wonderful and sweet and funny they are, which hopefully that transcends a language barrier that exists there for sure. But yeah, I've only heard good things from them about their experience, and like I'm just so happy for them to have gotten that contract over there, because the weather is better than England, the food is better.
The wine's a little better.
Yeah, like definitely my mental health was better when you could see the sunshine, that's for sure. Yes. No discredit to anything in PWR, but when you could see the sun at least once a week, you're like gonna feel a little bit better.
So Alycia, as the jingle stated, I'll list this off: coach, administrator, referee, player, broadcaster. I might be missing one. What haven't you accomplished in rugby?
Well, I would say from the fundraising perspective, I haven't accomplished a need to not need to fundraise, which is like from like XV Foundation, all we want to do is be obsolete. That is our whole goal, is to not need to exist. But all the other roles, I'm very happy in. Like, I love reffing, I love coaching, the admin. Like, truly, my new role in NCR is a dream job, and it's incredible that I get to like when you come from a life where like rugby for a lot of us was our 5 to 9, and then now it gets to be your 9 to 5 or 9 to 9 on some days, but still like you get to do it when you first wake up, not as you're trying to stay awake at night. It's like the greatest privilege of my career is being in this role right now. So really loving it.
Just real quick before we get away from playing, because we're definitely going to hit you up on the whole college rugby thing, obviously. Can you compare, other than less horizontal rain in France, south of France, can you compare PWR with, that level?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think my view is going to be a bit skewed, because the resources and support we had in Bordeaux is not what everyone has across the whole league. So, we had a dedicated stadium and locker room, and at least our head coach was full time, and we got fed at least 1 or 2 meals a day, which is what a lot of the PWR teams would get. Me myself, like I got housing, like I, had like the international contracts were good and comparable, but I would say there's more of that across the whole league in the PWR, given like the minimum standards like for housing or salary cap or whatever it is. So like I would say Bordeaux was on level with PWR programs, but I would have wanted the whole league to be there with Bordeaux. Whereas like PWR, there are like, your well-funded teams, like your Trailfinders, your Saracens, yada yada. But I would say like the minimum standards are higher across the board. But like I don't want to discount anyone or any of their effort because like women's rugby, we're definitely happy with the progress. We know we deserve more. And I know all the clubs in France like deserve everything that the PWR is getting plus plus plus. So
Yeah.
Alycia, bringing it back stateside, back to your current role, one of your current roles, women's director of NCR National Collegiate Rugby. So make sure I get this straight. So you're overseeing administration of the women's national playoff system, sevens qualifiers, championship events across all of the divisions. Been in the role for about a year or so. How have you been able to settle in? Or not even a year? Not even.
August 1. I started August 1. So
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
yeah, what about 6 months around there? Yeah. So I feel like yeah, sorry, I interrupted your question.
No, how you been able to settle in? Was it like a quick, okay, you got a couple of weeks, you meet some of the coworkers, you're working remotely, or was it like jumping, Alycia, we need you for like 26 hours today?
Yeah. So it wasn't quite 26 hours, but it was like I was on the job for a week, and then I went to England with the All Americans for their tour, like the first like All Americans 15s tour for NCR, and that was incredible. And I got like I'm trying to find different synonyms for the words like amazing and incredible, and like, smiling, but truly like this job is amazing. I get to work in rugby full time and have such a say in what happens, and having been where these players are and knowing what they deserve and having that be a North Star that you get to work towards every day is just such a privilege. But yeah, it has been like fully getting 2 feet in, diving in, making sure that the players get what they need and deserve. But the whole staff in NCR, we have a staff of like full-time dedicated professionals, and our only job is collegiate rugby. Like it feels so weird to be in a role because my background is in sport management. I do have a master's in sport management. But it's like, when you're in sport management, like I was doing campus recreation before, you have to worry about, the club sports, the intramurals, the student development, the hiring, the facility management. You have to focus on so many things. And here, yes, like we are worrying about all-stars and playoffs and CRCs all at the same time, but it's all in the realm of collegiate rugby. So we get to all row in the same direction with the same North Star every day, all day. And I think that makes all the difference in what we can provide to our athletes.
Alycia, when you were brought on, when you were offered the gig, were there goals? Let's say the NCR said this may be a really generic question here, but did they have a list of goals saying, Alycia, this is what we want to accomplish over X amount of years? Again, really broad question here. Can you talk about some of those goals? Maybe the direction that NCR wants to go with you as a women's director.
Yeah, I think they were really open to hearing my ideas, and under the premise of we are all very clear that we want rugby to be a top 5 sport in America, and we again are all rowing. That's like a North Star for us, rowing in that same direction. But under that, they gave me a lot of freedom. Like this year was our first year having 15s involved in our All Stars, and that was like I feel like as a second row, like I'm known for playing 15s. I can't not bring it. We did get some feedback from commissioners that was all fair because last year we had All Stars plus Rising Stars, and just like time and space, we had to bring all the Rising Stars teams up to All Stars, and if some teams brought 2, they can only bring 1 team, so that was a concession. But all in all, we had more individual athletes at this event than last year's event. So in terms of like growing and accessibility, this event I would say was a huge success. But in terms of goals, like just growing, expanding, we had a lot of discussions about the teams that like went dark over COVID, like we call them like our dark teams over COVID. We've had reach out to those schools to bring them back and see if there's any interest on campus from like the club sport director or if they can help us. We definitely wanted to work to build up our HP program and have more structure around that, which is a huge project for me. But like in terms of like goals, it was like just grow, and they really have given me the latitude to do what I want. Like I'm used to presenting ideas to past bosses and getting questioned to death on it until it like you're whittled down. Like you bring them a log, and what you get back is a toothpick of like what to do. And like between like Jeremy, Wade, the whole staff, like they're like, run with it, do it, like have fun, make it awesome. And so yeah, it's been a lot of that this year, and I've just felt so lucky. Honestly, it's been great.
Well, we want to dive into how you're making it awesome a little bit here in a second, or how you want to make it awesome. Um, Generally speaking, is the college rugby landscape, not just NCR, all college rugby, is it as confusing on the inside as it is on the outside for people like me and Fitzy?
I would say it's less confusing because I've like so I was in it as a college athlete. I went to University of Connecticut, was on the e-board there, but it is much different. Like we didn't have NCR, we didn't have, I don't even believe we had NSCRO, well, at least not for UConn because we weren't a small college at the time. Naira was just coming up, like Quinnipiac was just getting off the ground when I was in college. But it is confusing because in a span of like 3 weekends, you'll hear about 3 different national champions, right? And so like before I got into it, I was like, how can they all be national champions? Like, it makes sense. And so, yeah, so obviously NCR, we have 85% of the women's colleges, over 300 clubs, over 7,000 athletes. And then the landscape also contains NIRA and CRAA. And, there's overlap because obviously some teams play 15s in one league and 7s in another. So it's like a really big Venn diagram of like what teams are, but it can be confusing if you're not in it. And I feel like we would need to like dive in to fully see who sits where depending on like the month or the season.
Right.
Yeah, so Alycia, I guess maybe on that question, you just mentioned, right, some play 15s in the spring, others do 7s, and I get some of it is geography, some of it is like, time of year, weather-based, right? But is there efforts to normalize so that every college side has the same kind of schedule? Or is that it just doesn't work?
I think it largely works. Like, most of 15s is played in the fall. I know West Coast, where CRAA has most of their teams, they I think they have a little bit of 15s and 7s. Obviously, some of their teams could qualify for CRCs and whatever that may look like. I think as NCR, we've made it really clear that for us, fall is 15s and spring is for 7s, just so like teams don't have a moving target of like, but like if we want to go NCR, if we want to say CRA, if we want to go sit in NIRA, we have stayed pretty steadfast in that like fall is for 15s, spring is for 7s, and that's when our national championships are. So obviously a team could schedule a 15s game in March and we're not going to stop them. Or they could schedule a 7s tournament in September. We're not going to stop them, but our championships are based on that. And I think it's worked out well for us.
Yeah, you mentioned NCR governs 85% of women's college rugby programs, which is a massive number. And you mentioned some of the dark teams, right, that kind of had to unfold, unfortunately, during COVID, maybe coming back online. Talk to us a little bit about like where the growth numbers are looking like for women's college programs, and then where is rugby not being played in college in the women's game in the U.S.? Are there like little regional pockets and we can get Bill on the drum and play some songs and get people to play? Like, where is rugby not being played in the U.S. in college?
A lot of colleges have them. Like across NCR, we have over 700 clubs, and obviously we only do collegiate rugby, so those are only college clubs. The bigger the state, the harder it gets at times. Like, there are like Iowa, for example. Like there are a lot of colleges, universities in the cities, but then once you get into stretches where there's no colleges, then obviously like travel gets harder for them. But I would say like college rugby is being played. Like the work done by the woman's head for CRA, Tiff Lopez, like she's working to grow teams, and I'm working to grow teams. I know Amy Russert with NIRA's working to grow teams, and I think we all want the best for women's rugby, and we all want more women's rugby, higher quality. Like depth in our player pools, depth in our coaching and reffing pools. So, I would say the biggest area of growth is those teams because they're probably the lowest hanging fruit. Like the school probably has infrastructure for rugby, but not necessarily um, the e-board knowledge that was carried on from 2020 to 21 to 22 when they probably couldn't have played. So that's like our lowest hanging fruit that we're going after now pretty actively within NCR. But like in terms of schools starting up like new out of the blue programs, we also have a few of those, but those are getting fewer and farther between because of the depth of teams that already exist. So yeah.
Are we still feeling any of the, especially in the women's college or any women's game? Are we still feeling the Alona Mara effect? Are we past that and it's kind of leveling out, or is that still an impact in the game?
I think it's definitely still an impact in the game. Like I have moms and players coming up to me and ask played with Lowe, and if I watch Dancing with the Stars, and like I don't think we're past that at all. Like the mark that Lowe has put on the game can literally not be measured, just given like her impact, her reach, like everything she's done to promote the game. So I don't think we're there. I think we do need to ask ourselves like, what did we do with that effect? Like, did we fully capitalize on your average, I don't know, 8, 9-year-old knowing what rugby is now? Did we train youth coaches? Did we train youth refs? Did we set up leagues? Did we send out rugby ready like flags and balls and cones? Like, did we capitalize? I think that's the question. But the mark that Lowe has made is still very much there. But I think, like, especially heading into a home Olympics in 28, we really need to like look introspectively as admins in rugby, especially those of us that are involved in youth, and ask ourselves, like, did we do everything we could have to capitalize on this? Because I would reckon the answer is not yes. And so, yeah, that's on us.
Okay, well, talking about growth, what areas do you see where we could grow more, other than participation numbers and my speech level? Where do you see good areas that we should be growing more? And also, just generally speaking, how has the game grown since you played for UConn?
Oh my goodness, the game has grown immensely. Like my first time at All Stars was last year, and I was there as like a player appearance. But I was just so jealous of these players because I'm like, what do you mean you're in college and you get an All Stars and there's like refs who are actually like fit and care here, and is that selected these teams and worked so hard to get the teams there. Yeah, I was massively jealous of these players, but I do think the biggest area of growth is for like, so say if All Stars gets like the top percentile, like the pointy end of the pyramid, I think the development of the base of the pyramid will really dictate how strong the top is. So if we can get to like individual schools, regions, conferences, and at that level work to upskill the athletes both on and off the field. So on the field, like, improve. We have a nationwide improvement in catch pass, a nationwide improvement in decision making, a nationwide improvement in just rugby law, like just knowing what the rules of the game are. Then our pointy end gets sharper and sharper every year. But I think like the pointy end is shiny. It's nice. It's like it's all stars, right? But I am now working with commissioners and coaches to have more camps and clinics as a direct result of having to have cut rising stars from this year. I'm working with coaches, commissioners to make sure that development isn't stopped at the All Stars, that we continue development at all levels and make it more accessible for all of our players too. Because yeah, no matter who you are, they deserve the world. I think we need to find a way to give it to them.
Yeah, and I got to figure part of that equation includes the big thing out there, and that's funding, right? And you mentioned in your role in the XV Foundation, you hope at some point that becomes obsolete, right? Yeah. So here's a big question. What's it going to do? I mean, it could go in anywhere, right? Like, what's it going to take to get corporate America interested in putting some serious dollars behind rugby here in the U.S.?
Oh,
do we have time? How long do we got you for?
This feels beyond my pay grade, but
I hear you.
We have to find a way to market the players, like market their stories. As a community, I think put a lot on like Lowe's shoulders, put too much on her shoulders. Like you have to be. And I think USA Rugby did do a good job at this. It was spreading out the stories, but you have to be able to make that resonate with people. And I think that's where NCR is doing such a great job by having our own streaming service, having the college rugby show, having such good marketing within everything that we're doing, is that you're building these athletes' stories so that they can become a bigger name within their sport. And then it's not just like, the one person that we recognize, but it's like a team of people that we recognize. And you could market those stories. And, sometimes it takes like a CEO's son or daughter being like, hey, parent, please invest in that. Like, I love this team. And like that's sometimes like you could have the best pitch deck in the world, but imagine like if your daughter came to you and be like, I want to be like them, I want to be like her, then that could sway your dollars. That could sway minds. And I think like decisions are made with the heart when it comes down to it. Like, you could have, like I said, the best pitch deck, best presentation in the world, but if you don't find a way to resonate with that individual person, is it going to go as far as making that personal connection? So I think we need to find a way to like develop stories, market stories, show the best of women's rugby, because there's like you would never bring someone to the game and be like, wow, I hated that. It just wouldn't happen, right? Like whatever it is, we love it. We love watching it. There's so much grit and determination. Like the All Stars last weekend, our first year of 15s, and it was incredible. These players played their hearts out. And I don't believe if we did have sponsors there and they were all like, this is incredible. And I think that if you keep doing that, engage the sponsors in a way that they are face to face with the players, that's how the foundation has functioned. Like we've gotten people face to face in jersey ceremonies, in like captains practices, whatever it may be, and they're like, wow, this is worth investing in. So yeah, I think that the face to face needs to happen while building the stories up of all the players.
Well, and speaking of the NCR Women's All Stars, let's talk about that real quickly. That took place this past weekend, Silverbacks Park there in Atlanta over the weekend. Sure enough, Mother Nature had to dump some in Atlanta, right? Like, but anyway, besides all of that, how is obviously it had to condense the schedule, right? Since match can take place on Sunday, but how do you feel the event went for the staff, for the players?
Incredible. Like. Obviously, with the weather, a lot was thrown at us, but I'm just so proud of NCR staff and volunteers and referees that made it all happen, and the coaches that had to hop in as ARs as well. Like it felt like those moments where like in football where there's an interception and then the defense turns to offense and everyone knows that what their job is to protect that one player, but going as far up the field as they can. That is what happened in this moment. Like we had to like pivot, switch direction. And I feel like everyone had my flank. Everyone had like our work streams were like, okay, this is our marketing. We're gonna have to do the brackets this way. This is like everyone knew what their jobs were with like obviously like direction from us, but it was just so easy for everyone to snap into position to protect the integrity of the event. The weather is not always going to cooperate, but I believe like our staff cooperation really overcame any of the obstacles that we had. So I'm very, very proud of that event. Very happy how it went.
Now you mentioned before this is the first time doing the 15s All-Star. So we have 7s and 15s going on at simultaneously, same time. Bit of a shortened weekend because of what Fitzy just brought up at the Storms. But why is this? What are the benefits for college players being involved in this? Why is it a big event for them? Are there college scouts? Not college scouts, but are there club scouts to professional scouts? Are there USA selectors there? Is that really what this is about? Is getting these people in front of those eyes?
I think it's about a few different things. So obviously, we want to, we want to open up opportunities for all of our players. So we had like our new partnership with NRL. We had partners from NRL there doing selections. We had our own like All-American 7s and 15s HP selector Jamie Freck there, who ran the teams this past summer. She's just doing an excellent job. WER wasn't able to be there, but we shared the video login for NCR TV with both USA Rugby selectors and WER selectors. I think it's really important that our players get in front of all the eyes possible. But even even if a player says All Stars is enough for me, then that's fine, right? They don't need to have aspirations to go on to what's next. But I think that diversity of experience, like meeting different people from different parts of your conference or different parts of the country for 15s, um, is invaluable. Like all of that upskilling will translate when they bring those new ideas and new learnings back home. But I think it's really important that whatever it is, like we give our students aspirations and we give them like a next level of something to go towards. Not often will they have like custom kit for their team, or accolades. We also did the Player of the Year. Excuse me. We also did Player of the Year awards while we were there. Like it was truly just a time to celebrate our athletes because we know how hard that they work and they deserve to be celebrated on their performance and on their merits. And again, I want to give them the world. So
Yeah.
this is one step towards that.
No, I know this just happened, but have you received any feedback from maybe the coaches who were there to watch, or maybe online? I mean, I don't know, one might have said, "Hey, that fly half from Endicott was pretty darn good." Any kind of feedback at all?
Player feedback, of course. Yeah. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
we've gotten, we selected our team for NRL that will compete in Vegas Nines in just a few weeks. Yeah, the feedback on the event was like incredible. I can't say it was ideal because obviously, we had changed with the weather, but like any of the, and we have our survey going out soon, but like no negative feedback has come to me, but all of the praise has gone to the players. Like, wow, like these players need need maybe a little bit of polishing, but they have the skills, they have the instincts,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't take much to get them to that next level. So the feedback's been really great.
Alycia, I want to change gears a little bit here, maybe go up a level to the U.S. Women's National Team 15s here. So obviously, new head coach, right? Former Canada Women's Sevens head coach, Jack Hanratty. But so this may hit a little close to home here, but given your experience playing with the women's national team, going through a few World Cup cycles,
Mhm.
I guess in your mind, from a player perspective, what are areas for, say, improvement for the women's squad, maybe to get them back into that top four in the world again?
Yeah, I mean, I've only heard great things about Jack. I haven't personally spoken to myself. I've only heard great things about the appointment, and from like other internationals who have worked with him. So I think he has like the belief of the players for sure. And I think Tamara Shepard's doing a great job as like HP GM, making sure that the players are taken care of. But I think we just need that investment still. And like through the foundation, we are working on like what we can do for the team this year and the team and the pathway to help them get to where they need to be. But when you're up against teams who have full-time professional rugby players, it's just not you're not necessarily always playing the same game when our players are still having to work other full-time jobs or scrounge up contract work or part-time jobs. And I just think like our players deserve to be full-time. Like our players deserve to have contracts and like guaranteed bonuses for certain wins. Like they more than deserve all of this. So I think we like the infrastructure wise need to help them out. And like, I know like HP isn't there across the board. Like I don't think our men's 15s have contracts. But I think again back to that sponsorship, we need to up level everyone, sell those stories so that we can support the players the way they need to. But like I know Tamara is doing that work. I know USA Rugby is working on that. But like I just hope that this is like the year that they get it, because I think we've seen that like the rest of the world feels like it's passing us by. Like, we're just not able to compete at the same level when everyone's also working full-time jobs or not able to fuel properly because maybe their salary from their program is like $500 a month and they also have to worry about rent. And like, there's just so many factors that can make it easier for us if we lean into them, harder for us if we keep resisting them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the women's Eagles are going on tour this summer, playing the Springbok women in South Africa. So start of a new cycle. Take us back to your first, say, camp or the start of the World Cup cycle. What was kind of your mindset, maybe as coming in, and then the second part of that question could be, having established yourself then, and a new cycle is starting. knowing that it's going to be kind of long and grueling, does the mindset or focus change a little bit for you?
Oh, God. I think when I first started, I was so young and hungry that there was nothing but like a good mindset that I have. And that's like pretty, you'll see that across all of our women's Eagles. Like they have such a good mindset. They're willing to work so hard. They're willing to put their bodies on the line for each other. And I think that's so important. But yeah, like for the newbies coming in, like they're probably not gonna know like what's hit them like their first camp, their first tour, and like it was for me, it was terrifying to think back on all of that. Like little like I don't know, I was like 24-year-old Alycia, my first tour in camp. Yeah, I started my first game against England, and then I think like second half, my legs were cramping so bad I like had to hobble off the field. You're just like your body's just not ready, and there's no way to get ready until you're in it. It's like, you know, people say like there's no way to prepare for being a parent. You just have to like have the kid and figure it out. Like that is international rugby. You just have to prepare as much as you can, but it's never enough. Like you never feel like, oh, I was so adequately prepared for this moment. No, like it's never going to happen. But yeah, I know these new players, they're hungry. That is for sure. And they want to play for their country and they want to compete. And yeah, I'm excited to watch because my last international test with Barbarians was against the Springbok women, and I don't think I've ever gotten hit harder in my life. Yeah, those girls are tough, and they have come so far. Like my second Barbarians tour, we played against them, and they, I don't think they scored, but the second time around, very similar playing pool, but they figured it out. Like they figured out rugby, and it was so massively impressive how hard they hit, how well they worked together. Like incredible athletes, but incredible rugby smarts too. So obviously I'll be cheering for USA, but Springboks women are like such an easy second team to cheer for because they've come such a long way, and it's been absolutely incredible to watch. So obviously I wish USA all the luck though.
And since you just mentioned Barbarians, that something about the whole Barbarians men and women now, thank God, it's just such a, I don't know, whole of the beats is kind of like, oh, it's so cool. And I remember buying myself a Barbarians jersey years ago.
Oh, yay.
How was it different for you? That honor of wearing the striped socks, of getting out there. I mean, what's the game plan like? And this is like, hey, let's have some fun. Don't you dare ruck. Get that ball out. I mean, talk about that experience.
I think it's just the epitome of like playing with joy, because you know there's not going to be any analysis afterwards. Like it's not like we met up after to review clips. And like they select like, you know, they try to select decent rugby players, like, but they also select just amazing people. Like that is like the biggest thing. So it is like the best week of your life leading into this game with like such incredible human beings who are all so good at their craft, but also like you wouldn't know how amazing they are if you're just sitting and playing cards with them. Like, you know, there's no ego there. There's like no, I don't know, gatekeeping. It is just like it's the best of us, and not even performance wise. It's like the best of the game brought in for like usually a week or 2 week long tour, and it's incredible. Like some of my most joyous rugby moments are all in the hoops. Like just such incredible times. Yeah. So I have like some jerseys behind me. I don't know if you guys can see them. Jerseys behind me. But like the one like in front of me is my Barbarians one right there. So
nice.
Yeah. Okay, like I'm glancing up at it, but I have my little sheep is up there. I don't know if you can see it, but my little little sheep is like
oh, I see it.
There. Yeah. So he's always looking after me, and it's just such a privilege to be able to be part of that group. So yeah, very fond memories there.
Do you think that group would ever want to use a different size ball? Okay, now we have to answer that question, and I'm going to come across a little devil's advocate as well. All right. With rugby, you know, expanding its trial to more competitions using a 4.5 size ball, whatever it is for women's rugby, different than the men's. Want to hear your thoughts on that? Why that would be a good thing or a bad thing? And then my devil's advocate side of it is WNBA has a smaller ball than the NBA, and there's other sports that have done it as well. Different, I don't know what the other sports are, but why is this not accepted in the women's game? There you go.
I have heard both. Okay, and I as I'm a larger woman and I have massive hands and massive feet, so I have never realized that the ball would be too big for some women. I have had women who said to me, like, "Are you saying if I could palm this ball?" They're like, "I'd be an offloading queen." Like, so I've had women say both ways very strongly. I do think that if you're going to like sevens is pretty insulated, right? Because they're usually like they're all in full-time training for the most part. And they go on tour. But like if they I don't think they couldn't just bring it into Six Nations because so many of the 15s players play everywhere. So unless you make it like woman wide, but I think there. How far do I get into this? I just think there's so many other things that women are actually asking for to support the game, to support their needs, their health, their well-being, like all of it, mental health, like financial support. Like they fixed a problem that no one was asking to fix. But they aren't fixing problems that we are asking to fix. So like where is our attention? Obviously like maybe it's hard to say because I think women are torn on this, and but I do think like it'll change kicking dynamics for sure because like it's a smaller target. It's like the aerodynamics of it change, so it changes a lot, and I just hope that the players that are forced to play with the 4.5 are given enough time to acclimate to it. But would I have asked for it? No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
I hope it answers your question.
No, I don't know either way because I mean I've been involved in girls sports, soccer, whatever. My daughters for years, rugby, that kind of stuff too. And one of the things I would tell some of the girls I coach soccer, who I'm like, you need to play rugby, kind of thing, is like the rules are the same as men. You know,
Yes.
if I'm playing ice hockey, the rules are different. You know, at a high school level, whatever else, girls can't hit. Right. And so some go off to play hockey, good for them. But I'm like, but what I love the most, and the girls who have gone on to play rugby in college or else come back and say, you're right, I love it. It's the same. There's no smaller fields, there's no this and that. Everyone gets as tired as the men do, or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah. I do enjoy being able to say that the law book is the same. Like everything is the same except for women can wear tights. That's like the only difference. And that's like for religious reasons, you know?
Fitzy's wearing tights right now.
Yeah. For him, stay warm. Tights are great.
Right.
we love a set of like I don't know. Sometimes if it's cold, I'll wear some yoga pants out there. But I think women really appreciate saying that the rules are the same. But is that a hill to die on just because we could say that things are the same? I don't know. Again, but it's still solving a problem that no one asked to solve.
I like that take. That's interesting.
Yeah. Alycia, looking ahead here, big picture, obviously some big events coming up. LA Olympics in 28, Rugby World Cup 29 for women in Australia, and then coming back 4 years later, hosting here in the US. Talk to me about maybe what kind of role do you want to help play in all of that? I know, obviously, you're very much involved in the women's college rugby, but what kind of role do you see? Where do you see yourself in all of that, say?
I see myself as the women's director of National Collegiate Rugby, and I think we are the largest collegiate rugby organization in the world, and like with like I said, 300 teams on the women's side, 300 plus. We like the role that I have right now will have such a large impact on the playing pool for our home World Cup, potentially for the Olympics in a few years. So I just want to grow the competition as best as I can, develop the athletes as best as I can, like with the help of our commissioners, our coaches, and everyone in the whole NCR ecosystem. But I see myself in this role for a few years, and I'm really enjoying it. So I plan on staying put as long as they'll have me. And yeah, I'm just really happy to have some sort of impact on these athletes and upskill across the board. So yeah, that's where I see myself.
One more question for me, Alycia.
Yeah.
What do you, or is there anything you miss most about playing high level professional or international rugby?
burpees?
First
Broncos.
Broncos.
yeah, right. My first answer is no. I don't like my my physically and mentally. I was really ready to be done when I was done. And cartilage does not grow back, as my knees like to remind me every day. So I'm working out for myself now, and really enjoying like training without a test coming up, which is really nice. I do understand that that locker room feel on a game day can never be replicated anywhere else in life. So if I had any nostalgia, it would be about that. But I'm really happy with where I left my career. I'm really happy with like the impact I can continue to have, and I think the impact could be stronger off the pitch. So yeah, I can't say that I absolutely love my teammates. I will forever want to be around them, but I can't say that Alycia the player is missed. If I'm honest, so
Yeah.
we're happy.
I'm going to leave it with this, Alycia. How would you answer this question? Why should I watch collegiate rugby?
You should watch collegiate rugby because it is the most exciting sport that America has to offer. I fully believe that the athletes that we have, if you watch them play, if you could learn their stories, if you could get behind them, you'd be a fan for life. And the little bit of investment it would take to get them to go miles and miles could change the world and can have, especially on the women's side, create the next generation of the strongest, most badass, most resilient, teamwork-minded, communicative people. And it all starts with your eyes watching the game.
All right, I'm going to go watch a game right now.
I'm writing that down.
You won. That one. All right. Alycia Washington, thank you so much for getting on here. I know we've been communicating for a while, various things, and I'm always happy to talk to you about the game. Between you and Rachel Johnson, like the biggest smiles ever in the sport. I'm sure you guys have like smile offs. I smile better than you, that kind of thing.
Ray J's incredible. So thank you. That's a massive compliment.
Well, you're welcome. And we do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Good luck in this role. And we cannot wait to see you in person somewhere. Hopefully, maybe down at HSBC's in New York. Who knows? Just see you walking around.
Yes. And CRCs. We'll see you there.
CRCs, absolutely.
Yeah.
Alycia, thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Have fun, guys.
Yeah, a great way to kick off season 6. She's awesome. Yeah, we communicate every so often. Just about coming on here too. She's been busy, and as you know, we're not her first stop since the NCR All Stars happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Martin Pengelly interviewed her. She's been on this stuff also. So she's someone to talk to right now about the college game, which is nice to hear. I know we didn't get into lawsuit stuff. I feel like with her new role with NCR, I don't think she would have had any input on that. Am I? Yeah.
Yeah. Why get bogged down with the lead? Let the lawyers figure that out.
And they're dealing with that. That's like you said, that's above my pay grade.
Two things. One, intro music, fantastic. I was not ready for that little beat drop there. I didn't know you had that in you, Bill, to go there. Fantastic.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
2, Alycia Washington for president. How about that?
Done. Another Washington. Let's do this.
I mean, the closing statement there about why you should watch college rugby, it checked all the boxes in my mind. It was a nice little stump speech.
Gave me goosies.
Oh.
All right, John Fitzpatrick. Thank you much. Good tuning in. Good job today interviewing. You really did well. You studied up. I love the Great American rugby shirt you're wearing there.
Yeah, shout out Lance.
Got it. Yeah, I know. Shout out to Lance. Absolutely. Another great guy in the game. Anyway, Fitzy, good stuff. Cheers. We'll see you next week, and listeners, we'll see you next time.